Hi Aquarius, what's going on? We're here with the timeless reading. Welcome. All right, first card out is Death. I was also seeing it's a Libra's card. Justice wanting to come out too, but instead we got Four of Cups. All right, Death and Four of Cups can be like, I'm in the midst of a change right now, I'm not feeling comfortable, or I thought that this was going to be fun and it's not feeling fun right now, or I was motivated to make this change before and now I'm not really feeling like that anymore. It can sort of be this like losing of motivation. It can be this feeling of like, I'm tired. It can be that setting in of like, wow, this is really taking work. It's like that moment where it's like change is difficult. So whatever this is that you're going through, there's a transition for sure that's happening. Like you're in a liminal space is what it seems, because starting off with Death is like the space that you're in right now, and it is one of change, it's one of transition, it's one of figuring things out. You can feel like I'm not back there anymore, but I'm also not up ahead yet either, that in between. And Four of Cups can be feeling the like, I'm feeling tired now, or like, when are things gonna stabilize, or like, when am I gonna get there? So it's that feeling of sort of anticipation that you can be experiencing, but you can also be like, I'm just not having a good time right now, just right now. Tuning in to what you're feeling. Some of you, I'm seeing you talk to your spirit guides and get some encouragement here. You just need some patience. I'm seeing you definitely be curious about what they're saying for sure. This can also be like, what is my intuition telling me? What's my higher self telling me? Like that sort of thing. To be present. All right, here you are. So we have Scorpio and we have Aquarius. Yeah, that part of you that likes the old ways or likes what you're used to is being challenged going through this, and this is why you're not feeling into it. Like if you were in a space where you felt like adaptation was easier, which there are so many reasons why adaptation is not easy for some of us, you know, when things are stable and there's not that needing to adapt, it can feel safe because it's familiar, you know, and that means that we feel secure then. So being in a space that can feel unfamiliar, be transitionary, it can be really trying for that part of you that's like, I like to just know what I'm doing and stay doing that, you know. Like I'm seeing Taurus come out here, and actually, funnily enough, we have Scorpio, we have Taurus, and we have Aquarius. All of these energies are fixed signs. So there's only one fixed sign that's missing here, and that's Leo. But you have water fixed energy, you have earth fixed energy, you have air fixed energy. So water fixed energy is about like emotional stability, and you can feel like you need stability in order to stay emotionally stable, and also like mentally stable, and also like physically to feel safe and to feel secure. And because of like needing to adapt right now and sort of go with the flow and ride the wave that you're on currently, there can be part of you that feels frustrated. There can be a part of you that's like, I don't like all of this change that's happening, you know, and that can just be an intrinsic preference that you experience, where this is something that you're like, I don't really prefer going through times like this, but you can also feel like this is necessary. It's one of those times where like the transition can be difficult, but you feel like it's going to be worth it for the outcome that you're going to get. That like you just need to be doing this. But yeah, there can be a part of you that is like, personally, I don't like this for me. Your private life is involved in this, I'm seeing. When I say private life, I'm talking about all things, I'm hearing presidential. I'm talking about all things that are like what you have going on in the sort of like privacy of your private life. Having Queen of Pentacles, this can have to do with your close interpersonal relationships, can have anything to do with your home, anything to do with your family, anything to do with your finances, anything to do with your body, anything that's like physically part of what you interact with within your private life, within your personal life, and this challenging that for you. So this can even be like, I'm trying to get better care of myself now, and like I'm having to sort of like cultivate something here that's going to be more reflective of that, of me like maintaining something or taking care of myself, just an example. But like having to make that like leap or that jump to welcome in new habits and to create them, because now is a time where forging is happening. But it can feel very uncomfortable because of not having that go-to or not having that routine. Like you're in the process of developing those things right now. Finding stability. Hierophant and Queen of Pentacles, like immediately this energy coming out, it's like I like what I'm familiar with. And so you may find routines to be very comforting, and you can feel like you can't really do that now with things. Like for some reason it's been disrupted now because a change is happening, because a shift is happening. You know what's coming to mind, like another example, is when you know that you're moving, and so your normal stuff that you would do, it's like things are packed up and you don't have access to them, and then you have to be like moving things. You know, it's like a period of time in your life when you can feel like you're going from one thing to the next, but you don't really have that middle space that you can lean on, because the middle space is one that's moving, and so you constantly are trying to figure out how to balance on that stone that you're stepping onto. When you tune in, it feels like you know that this is the right place for you to be in. However, it can still feel uncomfortable. Because I do feel you being reassured here when you check in that like you're where you're supposed to be. This is what's supposed to happening. What is supposed to be happening. You know that you're in the right spot. You know that this is just part of your journey. Like those types of things. So there's sort of a remembering that happens when you tune in that can feel like the calm in the storm or chaos of what's unfolding currently. Death card is going to be a major transition. So again, like that part of you that likes things to be certain, or that you like familiarity, or you like things being routine, that part of you is feeling triggered right now, definitely. So if there's this part of you that's feeling like uninspired, whereas before you may have been feeling more inspired and now you're like, I'm losing that motivation, it's normal. Because the part of you that like feels safe with uncertainty is feeling sort of like it's really being tested right now, is the feeling. Adaptability, again, I'm seeing that be a highlight of this. Stuff from the past can be coming up. There can be some anger that's associated with this for some of you. It doesn't have to be the case for everybody, but there can definitely be some stuff where, like when I say anger, this feels like coming from a place of like longing for something or missing something, and like remembering a time when maybe you had something or you wanted something. This would feel like emotionally comforting. This can even be a figure, like a person that would have provided that to you. That can be something that's coming up for you now at this point. You know, when you're going through something and like you feel like you need to be pacified or comforted, it feels like whoever you would associate that with, like from your past, may be coming to mind now. It feels like this is an individual, actually. It can also be a time in your life. Okay. This change that you're making, this is worth it. Definitely for you, there can be fear coming up about this. So, like, right, what I'm seeing is that, let me like tell you the best news of all of this, like the stuff that feels nice to hear right now, rather than you just have to deal with this, what's going on. What you're doing right now is going to play a major significant like role in your life story. I'm seeing this be a huge undertaking that's happening here, and this has to do with like your path and very important things that are happening upon your path. Having death leading into the Emperor shows you like becoming yourself as you move through this. It shows also huge development that's happening. It shows like development, maturity, mastery, inner authority, interdependence as well. You working with your guides, you listening to your intuition, you honoring your soul mission and your soul path, like those types of things. So this is a big deal. You would know that this is a big deal too. This can feel like one of those moments where like a lot of big things are shifting, and it's something that you're going to look back on and be like, that was a really pivotal time or point in my journey, and you're going through it right now. So it can be feeling very chaotic, but this is something that's like really important to the plot essentially. And when you tune in, you recognize that and you feel centered within, you feel calm within, because you know that you're following what you're being told. But sometimes it can be tricky because messages that you get from your higher self, messages that you get from your guides, they can be elusive at times. They don't always feel concrete, and so sometimes you can check in and be like, am I being crazy right now? Am I being delusional right now? Like all of those things, but that's not what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing that you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're on your path. This is supposed to be reassurance. It's normal for you to not feel like you feel super engaged with your stuff personally because it's overwhelming. You have a lot of stuff going on right now. Stuff can be coming up where you could be having a hard time doing like self-care type stuff, or just the stuff that you know you need to do for yourself. You could be like, I don't feel motivated to do that right now, or I don't feel motivated to even get up right now. It can be those types of things. And you can also be longing for emotional connection and comfort, hoping that that could sort of displace some of the uncomfortable stuff that you're experiencing right now, or even the detachment that you're feeling right now. This feels like a detachment from self that you could be feeling. Like you could not be feeling yourself right now, or not feeling your personal life right now, or just feel like overwhelmed when you tune in and then want to disengage because of that and be like, oh, I just want something to be like emotionally grounding for me right now as I'm going through this. So I'm seeing that be what you're seeking, and like stuff from your past can be coming up, whether it feels comforting or you feel angry about it or whatever else it is that's coming through, but it feels like that's giving you some type of emotional connection, no matter how it is that you're experiencing this. You're being challenged right now. The part of you that likes to have more of a sense of control, or more of like perceived control within your life, can be feeling triggered. That part of you that may feel a lot more comfortable in routine, even when it's not the best for you. You know, it's like, I like what's familiar, even though I know I'm supposed to be expanding beyond this. This is that moment where you've been like pushed out of the nest, is what this is feeling like. And the part of you that's like, I like it when things go my way, or I have control, or like when I say this is gonna happen, this is what happens. You know, it's that part of you that has that aspect of your temper, your frustration, that really does like control, or has a very specific like preferred way that things be. But the death card is like, well, you don't get to have that control now. Like you just have to be here for the ride, which I'm seeing you are, but just know that it's normal for you to be feeling a bit out of it right now, because of this part of you that's being like tested as you're going through this, that's being sort of stretched. It's like a part of you that can feel very tight, like uptight, and it's being becoming more flexible. It's being stretched, but it can feel very uncomfortable to stretch that part of yourself, because it's one that can be deeply ingrained in certain patterns and habits and familiarity. And so doing that can feel very stressful, and it can feel unstable, where you can be seeking some type of comfort or support. And you can also feel like it's developing that part of you that's going to support yourself actually through this. Like, I'm seeing us end with the Star and the Emperor over here. And this is you finding your own way and finding your path and venturing out on your own and doing your own thing and supporting yourself, and like you being the main character in your journey, and you like really following the tune of what it is that you're connected with, even though you could have a lot of stuff that's coming up that can be fears that are associated with the changes that are going to occur. There being a lot of unpredictable stuff, and that feeling kind of scary at times. But I'm seeing this be big reassurance from your guides that you're just in that in-between liminal space right now. You're not going to stay feeling like this. It's just temporary. You're not going to stay feeling unmotivated or like you're having a hard time participating in this. You're going to be snapping out of this. Reassurance that you're in the right place. It's also normal for you to be seeking comfort right now, and also that you are exactly where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're not doing anything wrong. You're not off of your path. I'm seeing you be like very much where you're supposed to be. So just allow yourself to have faith and know that you are like guided, and that you're connected, and that you're very much tuned in right now, and that this is again like a very pivotal point in your journey, and that the parts of you that are less flexible are currently being stretched, and that can hurt and it can feel uncomfortable, but it will give you more of a breath. And that's why this is important, because you're growing and you're expanding and you're learning a lot. And this is also going to be one of those times where you're like, so much happened in such a small period of time, but you can feel like you grew exponentially during this time. Like looking back at it, you're going to see it as that. So you'll feel like you really like pushed yourself to your limits and tested yourself, and that there were moments where it could feel devastating and scary and overwhelming and exciting and lonely and all of the other things, and you're gonna find this be again like a point in time. And I think too that when things do stabilize, you'll look back at this time and be like, that was so exciting, you know, but you may not be feeling that right now. So just something for perspective. You're where you're supposed to be. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.